Hi, this is Shakti Kali Kaloksi with my podcast, Beautiful You, the show where I get to share all my favourite people with insights and teachings on natural health, detox, women's empowerment and sacred sexuality, fitness, spirituality and more. I stand for truth, passion, freedom, transparency, heart, sovereignty and creativity, and I seek guests who resonate at the same level. The beautiful in me recognises the beautiful in you. Hi there, thank you so much for joining us this evening for another episode of Beautiful You. And what better way to do my very first roundtable podcast by welcoming 4 beautiful goddesses who I know, each of you I know personally through having met on various retreats or coaching, and you're all amazing, amazing women and goddesses in your own right. And we have just spent 3 years going through this time of awakening where we have all been challenged almost beyond recognition for many of us, still doing our work, perhaps changing our work. And I just thought it'd be really lovely to invite each of you on and just to share a little bit about what you do, and then perhaps follow it with, what's been the biggest impact for you over the last 3 years? Because I know some of you have travelled, you've slightly changed direction, and just share some of the light that is with you and maybe some of the challenges. So Hannah, would you like to go first?
Hello. Sure. So I think, like you said, interesting last few years. The biggest thing for me, I think, has been living more intentionally. So I was very much just, trying to do what I thought I was expected to do, like what society expected me to do before 2020. And that's just my main focus now, is like following the joy, being there for myself, and kind of living unapologetically. I've got a young son. Well, he's just turned 9 actually last week, and as a catalyst of 2020, we did start homeschooling, which led to world schooling, and that was an amazing journey for both of us. There was so much learning and growth during that time, and I'd say that was my focus, and then I just had to make everything else in my life kind of fit around that. Wow. I wasn't really prepared to like work online or to work out of the UK, but kind of just, well, I think that's just an amazing way that the universe like serves you. You've got an intention, you go for it, and it kind of delivers, and things have like evolved, and they're continuing to evolve. But also he is actually now, we've rerouted again in that he has just started back in school. But I think what I love now, I actually, when it happened, I was like, I did not imagine that I would ever put him back in school, but number of reasons why. But I think the beauty is now I've got him with completely different eyes, as has he, because the experiences that he's had kind of from around the world have changed even the way that he will approach education. And he's very much along the lines of, well, I might choose to world school again at any time. This is the current, but not necessarily the permanent.
Wow, that's really interesting. So does that mean that you're going to stay put, Hannah, or are you going
Well, you know me, Shakti, I kind of don't sit well in one place for very long. So yes and no. Like, again, I'm kind of having to adjust life to whereby I can travel in between, so even while he's at school, take little trips. And also he actually he's got quite longer holidays at the school he's at now, so we've already booked like to go away over Christmas and stuff. So lovely. I've got the wanderlust, like well and truly, so can't be held in one place for sure.
No, and I love seeing you on Facebook and all the adventures that you have together. It's amazing how you've really, it's since I've known you in the last sort of maybe 3 or 4 years or longer even, just to watch you evolve has been a really wonderful journey for me to just watch and witness. you're
Thank you.
evolving, and you seem to have taken it to a new level now in terms of how your confidence has also grown so much. You're embodying so much more of all of the work. It's a joy to witness.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
And I very
Wow.
much feel that it's like, for me, my kind of, let's say, offering now is like wisdom from the world. And, that's what I'm gaining for myself. That's why I like to get out there and, learn from different cultures, people living in different ways. But then also, like, be able to like share that with people maybe who don't get to travel so much or don't choose to travel.
Absolutely.
And yeah.
Wow, thank you. Thank you. Sam, you're another traveller. Tell us a little bit about what you do and where
you, darling.
are.
I'm in Mexico at the moment, and I've been actually. So we'll go back to when all of the crazy started in 2020, wasn't it? I just want to talk about the positive that came from that was going online. So I'm a Pilates and yoga teacher, and I had a studio space and all the rest of it, and wonderful classes and a really good bunch of people. And so as we were all sent home, as just stay there. Everyone went online. I learned how to do Zoom classes, and actually we maintained our community, which was really, really important to me, to provide that space for everyone in that time of very strange weirdness. And I didn't really realize that was going to then sort of propel me in a different direction with those skills later. So that was just a really, really magical moment. And then we were kind of in and out, back in the studio, out of the studio, in the studio, out of the studio. And I decided
I remember those days so well. You're allowed to teach.
And those freaking boxes. I mean, seriously, it was just, anyway, so even let's not go down that route. But so yeah, it was a really interesting time for everyone. And also my truther side was very strong, and it was very conflicting with many people as well. So it was a real, it felt very, very uncomfortable. And I was like, I just need to get away. I need to get out of here. I need to get some sunshine. And I found this course, and I came to Mexico to do a course in natural health, in deep tissue body work and trauma release. And it was amazing. And then basically I just stayed and I didn't go back. So it kind of was a long process though. I stayed to do another course, and my client stayed online, which was amazing. And then we had some stuff with my mum. She was in New Zealand, and we were like, how are we going to get to see each other if they keep locking the world down? And so then we discussed it, and we were like, so do you want to go back to the UK, Mum, from New Zealand, and I'll come back? And she's like, I'm not sure. I'm like, do you want to come to Mexico? So basically she came to Mexico, and is still here. And so we've both been living in Mexico for the last 2 years, apart from a little stopgap in Thailand where I did a 3-month contract with a friend of mine who's a coach as well. But Mexico has my heart. So that's kind of the little whirlwind that I've been on. And then sustaining myself and growing through the challenges of travel, which those of you that travel know about those, being in different cultures, finances as well, like working online and trying to do new things and start a new business. And I've done lots of different things. I've done quite a few courses in the last couple of years as well, in terms of body work. And now I'm finally settling. I've just moved to Bacala. So I traveled from the West Coast across Mexico. It took 3 days to Bacala on the East Coast. And we just moved into our jungle property 2 weeks ago. So I am now acclimatizing to the bugs, and just starting to pull everything together from the last 3 years, I think. It felt really scattered. But I think the main thing I took from it is I just have to follow that inner voice. And when I don't, things go really, really wrong. And then I get myself in a pickle. And so then I have to follow it anyway. So it's just like I've been from the outside in, people that don't know me and didn't kind of get the vision were like, what the hell is she doing? How long is she going to be out in Mexico for? But now we literally just released our website today. and it kind
Oh,
of
wow.
it shows everything. And I've been like busy doing that in the last week, like up really late, up really early, getting it ready. And it was just so beautiful because lots of the stuff that went in is from years ago, and I'm like, oh, that's why I did that. So it's all just started to land all in one lovely little website.
Oh, that's so nice. That's such a lovely story. And I really
Thank
love the
you.
piece that you're saying about, if you don't follow your heart and you don't listen to your intuition, then it just kind of, it's like you're going down this road and you think at some point you realise,
The wheels fall off. They literally
yeah,
they fall off, and
yeah,
my body now tells me I'm very in tune with my body. So I start having old symptoms that I've dealt with, and I'm like, oh, something's wrong. Body's saying something's wrong. So let's have a rethink. Yeah.
absolutely. And you are also, as Hannah and Nelly, you're all really kind of living what you teach. You're living it. And maybe we'll come back to that in a minute, but in the meantime, just for now, thanks Sam for
No,
sharing
thank
that.
you.
Love it. Nelly, thank you for coming, lovely, with baby. Is he in bed now or is he there?
Hi, thank you very much for this amazing creation and collaboration and bringing all these incredible women together. I really feel we need this more than ever, and actually, this is very much what my journey has been in the last few years. As the very shaking of 2020 came in, and that went, I was pregnant with my first child at the time. He's now 3.5, and I went deep within. It offered the background noise. It offered the opportunity for spiritual growth, and I'm sure that happened to many. I just noticed people really recalibrated and reattuned and almost made that choice and decision as to what is important now, what is valuable now, where are we really focusing our efforts and our attention, how are we sharpening our intuition. Just gonna...
Hello.
Bless. Oh, beautiful.
And for me, it was really that spiritual awakening, and I saw the same happening to so many of us, so many, and I hear it and I see it in the stories that I've heard already. I'm full of gratitude. At the time, I was kicking off at everything. And you want to smile? There you go.
Oh, bless him.
This is now my second baby, who's 9 months old. I've birthed two of them during since 2020.
Wow, just that in itself, it's like, just wow, he's
Amazing.
absolutely gorgeous. Oh,
This is what's happening also for many, and in the collective consciousness, these souls are coming, these new souls, and they're just literally storming in unapologetically. This is what my birth experience was like as well. It was like, I'm coming.
And Nelly, you have moved around a little bit as well.
I have, yes, I have. After the initial lockdown, I waited a few more months, and we reached a point where we thought we need to get out of London. We don't resonate here anymore. I was feeling alone around people who thought differently and did differently, and it was a bit almost like scary. So I felt similar, like it was shared earlier. I want sunshine and I want palm trees and beach, so let's go to Spain. We thought we were going for a little bit, and we stayed 9 months. And that's where I set up my work online, exactly for that reason, to support each other and everyone through these really turbulent times of change and growth. I mentor people spiritually through awakening the Shakti energy, Kundalini energy in the body, and really feel part of this global process of awakening that we're all participating in to just help each other. When the triggers come in, when life starts to shake things up turbulently, when there's a new inspiration to keep on going deeper within ourselves. Because that's what I feel the spiritual awakening has been. It hasn't just landed like bing. No. It's been on the other side of challenges, been on the other side of triggers, I know Shakti has been through a lot as well in her life last few years. So it's all those situations that help us to release and let go of something in the past and continue moving forward, continue tuning in. Okay, what action should I take now? How am I guided now? What's the next step for me? And this is where we tap into that unity consciousness when each one of us does our own unique individual alignment. The whole of life, the whole for everybody else just aligns so beautifully and works so amazingly and beautifully.
Yeah. I think that's kind of
yes.
Sorry, I was going to say, I think in a way that's kind of why I've brought us all together, because we're all doing this incredible work. You know, we're traveling, we're living our lives, we're meeting our challenges, we're doing more shadow work, more inner work, and we're sort of moving forwards. I know you all are in different ways, and you know the importance of this part, that as teachers, as healers, therapists, whatever you want to call yourselves, you know, there is no way out anymore other than in. And the more we're going out, the more we've got to go in. And I've found it, you know, such different times from, say, 10 years ago, when you might have been some sort of spiritual teacher. It was always about, you know, out there. the inner journey wasn't spoken about. And I don't know about you guys, but I've really noticed lately how, you know, this call for transparency is so deeply profound right now, that in of itself is just like another awakening journey over and over and over again. You know, does that resonate at all? Before we carry on, actually, because I'm just gonna, because now Kirsty's back. Kirsty jumped off, but Nelly, thank you very much for giving us that flavour. And of course, now you're in Glastonbury now, so you've jumped from Spain to Glastonbury, which that in of itself is a whole other story. But thank you for now. Kirsty, would you just like to give us a little overview of who you are? Beautiful you, and what you do, how you be, where you live.
Absolutely. Thank you, Shakti. Sorry about my internet issues. I've had tech issues all day today. It's been a really interesting day. So thank you so much for having me on and joining this beautiful circle and just sharing our experiences. So I don't even know where to start. You know, like 2020 hit and it was like COVID came, but it was almost like COVID was out there because I was dealing with so much turbulence at home. I had a beautiful friend who was staying with me for 3 months because she was channeling, and she'd really found this incredible gift that she'd probably had for such a long time, but decided to come and visit. And that's all I say, you know, during an event we went to about past life regression, future life. It was the Pleiadians that were channeling, she was channeling. And it was such an intense period of time. Like, she was home, she was here, going through so much turmoil within herself. I've got 2 children. So at the time, Phoebe was 10, Jude was 8. So obviously school shut down. So I was really navigating having my friend here, Kelly, and trying to keep things as normal for the kids as well. And unfortunately, Kelly decided she didn't want to be here anymore and took her own life. So,
oh gosh,
like I said, you know, like COVID kind of that I can't even deal with that right now. I just have to try and keep life as normal as possible for my kids and try and deal with everything that had gone on, and, you know, the guilt and everything that comes along with, you know, a very dear friend taking their life. So that was the start of, you know, sort of the COVID time. And obviously schools had closed down, so the kids were home. And I got to the point where I'm like, do you know what? If they do work that the schools were putting on that were online, that's great. But if they don't, that's fine as well. We're going to make the most of this time. And we really had a beautiful time, you know, pastoral, you know, not pastoral Kelly, all that, but with that coming along, we lived on a street where we really got to know the neighbours, and it became like the 1980s back again. We were playing on the street. We were, you know, me and the mums and the dads were sat having cups of coffee. The kids were playing, and it was just a really lovely time for the kids. And but yeah, myself and Ian we've always had this financial thing going on for us where we've really been challenged since we left our jobs. I'm a coach. Husband is IT, so he helps people get online, websites, back office, all that sort of stuff. But he's also doing commodities as well. So we've found like this last 3 years are really financially challenging, big time. And I think that's one reason why we haven't traveled, which pains me because I love to travel. Myself and husband have traveled so much before the kids, and now just feel really stifled because of our financial situation. Even though we've got this online space, it was just just not being able to make it work for me. And so it's just been dealing with suicide of a friend, all the crazy that's going on around, because I live like just outside the city centre of Manchester. So I feel like I am living in 3D society and I don't fit in at all. And I found it a real challenge where everybody else around is all masked up and following the rules and continue to. And myself and husband, and thank goodness my husband is on the same page, that we have just sort of locked arms and we have gone, no, not on our watch. Our children are going to have the most normal life we can make as possible. And we're going to educate the kids, throughout this time. So that's what I really trust that we have done. The kids are in school. I'm so envious, Hannah, when you were saying that you were homeschooling, world schooling your child, because that's what me and Ian really wanted to do. We broached the subject with the kids. Oh my goodness, I'm surprised you didn't hear them screaming from where you are, because it was like I was torturing them, that I was going to take them out of school, which really makes me quite sad, because I think, oh my goodness, now my 13-year-old and 11-year-old are so institutionalized into this school way of being. And I'm also gone back into teaching right now because of our financial situation, which I've had many conversations with Sam about this, of feeling like I'm working for, and I don't want to say this, but working for the enemy, like I'm in that school and that's, but it's a means to an end right now, so that I can really, lean into my coaching and really make that the number one. But at the moment, I've just had to go back into the classroom just to sort of support us for where we are right now. So it's been, I think for everybody it's been a journey.
What a journey, Kirsty. I really I didn't know any of that. And it's kind of really sort of like opened my heart, and just hearing that story.
Yeah, I mean, the stuff with Kelly, it was deep. It was beautiful at times, but it got very, very dark and very, very scary, and I felt so out of my depth. And there was a few of us, we had like this circle around us, but none of us really knew what we were doing. I mean, Kelly had been into hospital, mental health hospital. She tried to take her life prior to her actually succeeding, and they just let her out. And I truly believe, who she was channeling were very, very clever and could very manipulate, I'm going to use that word, people around them to go, she's fine, off she goes, so even the system, failed her. But essentially,
what do you mean, even the system failed her? I mean the system's failing people, and
left,
that's
right and centre.
That's why we are needed. That's why we are needed. you know.
100%.
And that's why where we all are now, wherever we are on our journey, we must all keep on doing the work. Because as somebody said earlier, I think it was Nelly, you know, every time we are working on ourselves, we are shifting the whole of humanity, you know.
Yeah.
So whilst we are doing our work and helping other people and coaching other people, and even, you know, even putting the money piece away, just putting that to the side just for one moment, you know, what would we all be doing if money was irrelevant? You know, would we all be doing this work? And I think we all know the answer to that.
100%.
Yeah.
And I really, you know, I really honour each of you for following your inner guidance. Because sometimes the money piece, not for everybody, you know, I very much relate with what you say, Kirsty, about the money, because it's been hard for me, in particular, the last 12 months since I had the flood. And when your work becomes focused on the money, it's, in a way, it's everything we don't want to be worrying about. It's everything we don't want to be teaching. And yet here we are in this 3D reality, having bills to pay and, you know, needing to provide for our children. And this is where the you know, this is where the challenge, but also the growth and the expansion happens all the time in these spaces between, you know, what the perceived problem is and what the solution is. And again, it's always, what I'm learning more than ever, is always about turning to meet that part that feels just out of comfort zone, just out of the comfort zone. That's where the constant expansion is. And I know quite a lot of coaches, more my kind of age group, a bit older, who are looking to take, like you, Kirsty, they're looking to not leave behind the work they've done for decades, but it's just not paying the bills. And so this is really where, like, the devotional aspect comes in. It's like, you know, how devoted are we to this work? Do any of you have a moment that you remember in your lives where you went from just, like, you know, maybe being a therapist, being a coach, and just trying to fit into a moment where you just thought, I have to follow my path? Like, do you remember the moment that happened, any of you?
I have quite a few. Actually,
let's hear.
It's moment after moment. So when I first became a Pilates teacher, I let go of my florist business of 14 years, which was probably at that point the hardest thing I'd ever done, to leave that identity behind and do something new. And then leaving London to go and do a maternity cover back in Essex, and leaving my whole London life that had been 22 years. And it's just been a series of leaving things and just trusting that something will appear, which is kind of how I've been living ever since, really. And then coming to Mexico, exactly the same. And I've had moments recently where I'm like, I'm just going to have to go back to the UK and get a job. I can't do it. I have no income coming in right now. This needs to stop. I've had a financial situation happen recently that's sort of really caused some issues, but there's still something in me that's like, no, you've got this, it's okay. And am I all right in this moment? Yeah, I'm still in the freaking jungle, I'm fine. So it's okay. But the call back is quite strong, or it has been. This last week I feel like I've come through the birthing canal this time round and just sort of popped out again. But it's it gets stronger and stronger, but also the trust in that things will be okay because of the evidence of everything I've done before is also stronger. So the turmoil, it feels like, is really strong. But then over here, there's an element of just pure trust that is totally perfect, and just wait, because it will come. So I hope that answered your question, but it's like a continual,
Yeah, isn't it?
keep going. It's like, and then it's almost like a spiral, or that's actually just made me feel a little bit ayahuasca sick, but just some stuff's come up then. It's like a spiral, right? And you revisit these things, but you've got tools for each time you go round now. So
I think
that's how it feels to me.
Yeah, that feels key, actually, having the tools, I think, because you recognise, yeah, I've been here before, how can I just navigate this bit? And then you get the confirmation. I mean, today I messaged a friend of mine. I mean, she's actually a girl that's followed me on Facebook for a number of years, and I didn't know her. It turns out she lives in my town.
Wow.
Yeah, we've had coffee a few times, and you know, she's doing some interesting projects and stuff. And I messaged her something today. This keeps on happening, but I messaged something to her today, and the message was 1 minute 11 seconds, so 111, and it was 11 minutes past 1 at the same time. And I just thought, and I'm noticing more and more and more now. I mean, this is very much, I know the feminine. I need to make sure I stay in my masculine as well. But you know, this trust and the flow, like it's almost like I don't ever write any appointments down. I know I make mistakes, which I did, but they always work out. I don't seem to have to write anything down, because somehow everything somehow works out. The more I just stay in my body and just trust. This thing about trust and faith is really kind of showing up for me. Hannah, speak to that for us.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, I was just saying it's massive, like what you're saying. I just agree with you totally. That is the trust. Sam spoke into that as well, like having faith. That I think that's just such a powerful one. And like you said, as you get the tools and the experience, you can, you know, even though it's really uncomfortable around you, you are sat in the middle of that with faith and trust. And I think that's what I found really powerful over the last few years. Each time you spiral through, that is, you're more kind of grounded in that, even though it's going crazy around you, kind of thing.
Yeah, and also, you know, go on, but Kirsty, speak.
What I always think about when, you know, you're talking about trust, and you know, when you're having that freak out moment and you're going, what the heck am I doing? I always think about Wayne Dyer talks about how, you know, when you conceive a baby and that baby grows in your tummy for those 9 months, us humans like have no control over what's going on in that bit, you know, in that growth of that baby. It's all nature, it's all the universe. And then so for 9 months, you know, we've given it to the universe, whatever, you know, source, whatever you want to, you know, whatever your belief system is. So, you know, to produce, to grow this absolutely perfection of a soul, and then it comes out, and then Wayne Dyer talks about, and then us humans then think, right, thanks universe, you've done your job, now it's down to me. I mean, why would we ever think that we are more capable than source itself, you know? So when I, you know, like tools, this is always something that I think about, is Wayne Dyer talking about, you know, the perfection of the universe, you know, growing this beautiful baby, and then we think that we can take over and do a better job. So it's like one of those, okay, I'm trying to take over here, which I've done so many times, you know, like ego going, I know what I'm doing. Take a step back and just trust that the universe has grown this beautiful child inside of you. I'm sure it can figure this situation out. It's, you know, and itself. So that's something I was
love that.
Thinking about.
I love that. I really love that. Yeah. Oh, and Nelly, it's interesting. You and Nelly keep coming in and out of this conversation. I'm just wondering if Nelly's going to come back again. So what is, so where are we going from here then? So for me, I was very much, you know, on the ground doing the freedom fighting bit. I just couldn't keep my mouth shut, you know, from the word go. I from the moment one of my nephews, who works in a big hospital, from the moment he started questioning the COVID deaths and saying about the death certificates, and like was very confused as to why everybody was having this signed when it wasn't true. From that moment, and I did a live on Facebook which went viral, I just couldn't keep my mouth shut. But after sort of 2.5 years, in other words, I guess about, I don't know, 3 or 4 months ago, I can't keep up, the time's going so quickly, but certainly probably the last 4 months, I just thought, I'm done with that now. I've done that bit of my life. And so I now realise that life is pretty much online. Do I like that? I'm not sure. I like in person, but I'm kind of coming around to the fact that for now and for the next years to come, my working life is online, and I want to travel more. And we won't talk about the money thing. But I'm sort of like rebranding my business, and I'm just wondering where you're all at with your, with your work and your life connected. I know you, Sam, have just opened up a place. Can you just share where you're, where are you headed now? What's the vision?
Yeah. Well, the vision is we have a healing center here in Bacalar in Mexico. With my dear friend Romana, who is now my business partner. We met on the first course. So we've only been friends for 2 years, but straight away we gelled, and we're complete opposites as well. It's quite hilarious. No one can quite work it out.
That's quite a long time, 2 years, because many of us have just lost all of our friends, so 2 years.
Absolutely. But we've both lost many. In fact, Romana probably more so. I'm blessed with a really tight circle, Kirsty being one of them. I'm like, dear Lord. But some of the people we met on these courses, literally no one. They had absolutely no one. And it was like this flock of people that came to this place knowing there was a community building, all of a similar mindset. So it was a beautiful, amazing experience. Amazing. And over the first months or so, we spoke about and Romana and I, the main thing the two main things we have in common, 3: integrity, authenticity, and truth. That's what we really connect.
Can I have those as well? We're very aligned to all of this.
Absolutely. And so we've had this dream. All we want to do is help people heal that want to do it, and not people that don't want to do it. We're not dragging anyone through this, because the work we do is really intense, and one of the reasons that we want to do this is to live our authentic life. So we live the life that we are teaching. It's very simple. We have certain nutrition, we do certain things, and it's all natural. But getting here has been a really long-winded journey, because I went off, we've done different things. Romana spent 8 months in Tulum healing some big stuff. I went off and did Thai massage courses and traveled and Thailand, but we've ended up back here through circumstance. Actually, I was like, I didn't know I was going to be coming back to Mexico, but I did, for whatever reasons. One of them, it just does have my heart. I miss Mexico a lot. The feminine energy here is beautiful. And this was meant to be like next year sometime. I've just done another mixed modality course in Ixtapa, and I was meant to be working there for a year. And she's like, I found the place. I'm like, you can't, not yet. I'm not ready.
Wow.
She's like, yeah, but I have. So we looked at that, and we're like, well, we've just got to do it. Okay, let's go. Let's just make it work. So so that's what we're doing. We've got our first client arriving beginning of December for 2 months, doing the residential. We've got a retreat organised for next March. And so for me, actually, which actually what you were saying about being online, I went to Thailand and went onto a very online space in coaching, and found that I couldn't be just online. That was one of the main reasons I couldn't do it, because I missed the in-person so much. So I came back to Mexico thinking, right, I'm just going to be in person. And then other things developed, and now I'm doing a bit of both. So Kirsty and I have got Rise Tribe, which was born out of, should we do a little course together? And now we've got an app and all this sort of amazing stuff going on. And then Romana and I are now here. So we've got clients coming here, but we're also developing an online space as well. And it's all about collaboration and bringing like-minded people together and share. Like, there's enough work for everyone, I believe. Even
I love
though,
that.
you know, I've got like these money things that I'm working on, but I'm still like, there's enough for everyone. Let's all just like crack on. There's a lot of work to do. There's a lot of work to do.
I love that. I love that. And I love the idea of women coming together and just, you know, supporting women.
Absolutely.
It's almost like the competition has just fallen by the wayside. That's like the old way of doing, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Competition has gone, and for us to really make the impact that we want in the world, it's about coming together, and everybody's got a different, you know, different skill set. You know, like I'm mainly mindset fitness, but you could have another mindset fitness person here who's totally different to who I am, you know, so there really is space for everybody, because
and also
different people are drawn.
Absolutely. And also, at the end of the day, this is bigger than us individually. And when we just, you know, when we just recognize that and put our worries and our fears and our egos just to the side, you know, this is for the greater good. And we have to do this work. We have to support each other. I love the idea of putting together a group of us just to meet maybe, you know, once every 2 or 3 weeks to come together. It just feels so important. And especially, just very quickly, the bit about the friends. I mean, I said to my friend Bob, I've got a couple of really lovely male friends actually. He said to me, you keep talking about friends that you're not friends with anymore. And I said, yes, it's true. And you know, most of the people I connect with now, and I do have a few friends, don't get me wrong, because I'd hate them to think she keeps saying she hasn't got any friends, and I have got a few good friends around here, but where I live, there's probably at the moment like 2 people that I could drop in to have a coffee with, whereas before there were probably about 8 or 9 or 10. And you know, so I know for me that my work and my devotion to being in service is greater than anything. Actually, it's become the most important thing. And if that means that my friendships right now are online, so be it. In fact, Nelly has got an event in Glastonbury on Sunday, which I'm going to go to. And perhaps, Nelly, you could... sorry, I will bring you in just before we go, because we will wind up fairly soon now. But we was just saying, Nelly, about... What were we saying, Sam? What were we saying?
See, this is... I don't have retention now.
No, nor do I.
I popped out for a bit with baby, but the last thing I was hearing was about the money struggles.
Oh yeah, we've kind of I suppose what we're really talking about is how we are living. You know, we are really following our hearts and living from that place. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing there in Glastonbury.
Very
Nelly.
much in line with what you just shared in terms of being of service, and this is where I feel when we are truly of service, and this is our intention, all will align in order to help us do the greatest service that we can. And from here, doors will open financially, in terms of opportunity, in terms of our children and schooling, communities, all of it will just open when that is the intention. And also service means fully of service. So then we don't divide people into 5Ds and 4Ds and 3Ds and 12Ds or whatever. There's just one humanity, and they're all us. So it doesn't matter who the service is to. Of course, we can't be of service to people who don't want it and don't willing for it. So of course, we've recognized that bit by now. But I love just that open expansion, because the more expansive we are, the more expansive then the cash flow will be, the businesses will be, the opportunities will be. And since I came to Glastonbury, I still run groups online, but I also started running them in person, because the thirst was just there. It was there. People wanted to come. They wanted to receive this energy, because this is then the energy that from our heart and soul will pour onto our work, onto our relationships, friendships, everything else. So I'm bringing together people for a retreat this Sunday. I'll be running a Shaktipat retreat, and as part of that, I'll be taking people to the sacred places in Glastonbury, offering meditations, and just deeper connection, deeper intuition, deeper guidance, unraveling the traumas and the blocks because they're getting in the way, unraveling where there's any limitation in our mindset, like mindset was mentioned already. Mindset is part of that, the heart being free from limitations, from trauma, from anything is also part of that. Our bodies being free. Community gathering, when people gather, new opportunities come, new relationships, new friendships. So the stronger we feel that in one another, the stronger our creative force becomes. So that there's less resistance, less fear moving forward, less of any of that. And people feel empowered, they feel connected, they feel together, they feel the love. And so it flows. More of that love continues to flow from one to another. The creation just unravels in the most beautiful way. And I truly feel like we're the ones creating the new earth. We're the ones creating the new life. And this is very much part of it. And everyone's actions, everyone's hard work to figure out, okay, what's my piece of the puzzle? Okay, what is my next step? In all areas of life, in our work, in our coaching, but also in any other area of life. And like it was said earlier, unraveling the inner struggle will then expand outside. Achieving something on the outside will then open inside. In the outer, keep on reflecting and unifying one another.
Beautiful. Just beautiful. Kind of just want to sit with that and just I was just taking you all in then, and I can feel a lot of joy in my body and a lot of love. I'd love to sit in a sisterhood circle with each of you together, all of us together, and you know, maybe we'll all meet in Glastonbury, maybe we'll all meet in Mexico on Sam's retreat.
Why don't we do both?
Yeah, both sounds good.
And my retreat in Bali next winter.
Oh, and that, yes, I'm there as well.
When are you going to Bali?
Hopefully January.
Okay.
And I'm teaching in the Philippines in mid-March, so I'm planning on just going away for a few months and just, you know, I'm gonna make that happen. Yeah, there's something about.
I'm so glad.
Thank you. There's something about being in England in November and it's dark at 4:30 that just doesn't sit well with me. I'm not keen on November.
It's never sat well with me either, that one.
And then February's the other one. I just hate February, so if I can be away for February this year, I'll be very happy.
Yeah, do that as well. Because February is my birthday. It's the most depressing month ever to have your birthday in the UK.
Oh, do you know what? It's interesting you say that because my birthday's November, you know, so they're two depressing months for Shakti. It's my son's birthday.
Well, Hannah and Hannah's son and my son, we both became mamas on the same day, which is the 12th of November. So we've just both had our little boy, my big boy and your little boy have a birthday. But my aunt was saying, my aunt was 81 on Wednesday. She doesn't act 81. She doesn't look 81. She's just like a 61-year-old, you know. She's just, it's mindset. Mindset is so important. But she was saying that she always hated her birthday in November because her sister, who was my mum, her birthday was in June. So you know, if you've got a summer birthday, you can do a bit more, can't you, with your friends in the garden or whatever? Yeah. But
or you just bugger off to a hot country and have your birthday there. That's what I
yes, exactly.
That's my plan actually. My birthday's coming up too, Kirsty, and I've just booked to go to Madeira for a couple of days. So
nice.
I'll have it in the sun. I'll have a sunset and a sunrise.
Nice. Just want to put a little date kind of in the diary. I'm looking to be back in the UK next year for 3 months, May, June, July, and Kirsty and I are wanting to bring a festival together for Rise Tribe and collaborate. So that would be awesome.
Yeah. I'm excited. I'm excited already. This is what this is all about.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
This is what this is all about. Oh, girls, queens, goddesses, ladies, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful yous. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I've really enjoyed this tonight. It's been really lovely to connect with each of you. And each one of you's got a special little place in my heart. It's been really lovely to just come together and have this little conversation. So thank you so
Shakti,
much.
thanks for bringing us together.
Thank you so much.
You're so,
it's
so
been really
welcome.
lovely, and I'm really looking forward to getting back to the UK and meeting you ladies as well. It's going to be, I can feel a lovely fuzzy connection going on. It's awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, thank you, Shakti.
You're so welcome, so welcome.
Incredible.
Nelly, I'll see you in Glastonbury on Sunday.
See you
And,
soon.
yeah.
Looking forward to
Have a
meeting the rest of
great
you when the
time.
time comes.
Yeah, with the perfect time. Yeah, it'll
Lots of love.
present itself, won't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Lots of love.